Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. We're going to be talking about Sam LaPorta and a little bit of the Lions, just offense in general in tonight's video. We're doing a little bit of a film study, and I wanted to show some LaPorta because, he's really kind of the cog in this team where, last year, early on in the season, in summer, he was brought down by a hamstring injury. And at the, I would say, final 5-6 games of the regular season, Sam LaPorta, you could see the health coming back, and he just made a really big impact on the Lions offense last season at the end of it. And he had a phenomenal rookie season. He had like a historical rookie season, and 6 catches, 79 yards, 9 total targets. We're going to go through a couple of these in this video, and then maybe do a defensive video because I hate being a negative, and Sam LaPorta was the highest graded player on the Lions offense. And I think this other angle is going to give you a good illustration, but basically what I've gathered from a lot of these certain clips is, Detroit's just got to get back to the basics here, man. LaPorta, a lot of these catches were at the end of the football game. This is the first drive of the third quarter for the Detroit Lions, and it's only a 17-3 game right here. And we're going to look at some of this stuff. This was a really impressive throw, in my opinion, by Jared Goff. And all it took right here was a touchdown. And I think they get only 3 points here on this drive. And it goes to 17-6. And then the fourth quarter, things kind of got out of control here. But we got LaPorta here on this left side of the screen, just kind of dragging across the field here. And you're going to see Edgerrin Cooper. And I just... the more I look on this, I was just very impressed by this Packers defense, man. Jeff Hafley is, in my opinion, a really good defensive coordinator. And I know you guys have the Chicago Bears this upcoming week, and Dan Campbell's already came out here and said, we're going to win this game. We got to win this game. But even though, like over here on the left side, Lucas Van Ness gets through, we got a one-on-one, Edgerrin Cooper on Jahmyr Gibbs in pass pro here. And you can tell... going through the progressions that Jared Goff's first guy is, most likely Amon-Ra St. Brown here, who also had a quiet night. 4 catches for only 45 yards here. And, Quay Walker's right here. I can't tell exactly who that is on the Packers defensive line quite yet. But we got LaPorta, who's going to be wide open, just dragging, like we said, across the screen. And Goff does a really good job. You got this pocket is just collapsing. Graham Glasgow, the center, had like a horrible... I think he might have been the worst graded center. I think he was the worst graded center in the entire National Football League. And you lost your center, you lost your right guard, and it's just a younger group. Tate Ratledge, we're going to get to him in some of these clips, but the pocket's breaking quickly. And you got 3 or 4 Packers defensive players here already. Jahmyr Gibbs is doing whatever the heck he can against Edgerrin Cooper. I think he actually does a really good job here. And some way, somehow, Jared Goff gets this football out to Sam LaPorta here, and because of the angle, this is like a sidearm, insane catch, and it's a little bit behind him just because the pocket's completely breaking. And because of NFL copyright, I can't. They're being tough this season. Then he breaks a tackle on Keyshawn Nixon here, but let's get into it. Now, I'm not an offensive guru, and it's why I don't really like covering games where the team lost. It's 3rd and 5. All right, we're like a couple of plays after that LaPorta catch right there, and it's 3rd and 5, and you're going to see just, in my opinion, a really dumb play call here from John Morton. I don't know, we got every single receiver on the field. Just to give you a grasp here, the first down is right here. We're looking like the Bears goal line right here the other night, but I mean, it's 3rd and 5, all right? So I don't really love this play call because it's 3rd and 5. Why is every single receiver past the 15? And this is stuff I saw this whole football game where I just kind of scratch my head here, and LaPorta ends up catching this. But you'll see what Jared Goff, a little bit of manipulation here. He does a really phenomenal job, and I saw so much Jared Goff critique. Folks, I don't need to tell a Lions fan this or any NFL fan this. If you can't win the line of scrimmage, if you can't protect your quarterback, if you're averaging 2.1 yard per carry in a football game, you're going to have a really difficult time winning. And so what we see here with this play call, Packers are only bringing 4. We got Quay Walker right here on LaPorta completely covered. And like we just showed you, every other receiver is all the way across the field. They're running like, it's not 4 verts, but it's like that Madden 4 vert call. It's like a CPU, and you got Montgomery here on a check, that Edgerrin Cooper right here, one of the league's best linebackers already, a rising star, is on. So what you see here is Jared Goff. You can see him, he's looking in the middle of the field, and LaPorta's just going to pretty much stop right here. So he's going to do a really good job of getting Quay Walker he's just manipulating him with his eyes just to get a step and throw it on this right shoulder, LaPorta's left shoulder here. But it's really small, right? It's literally right here, because if he's looking this way, I mean, Quay's just going to stand pat. There's nothing going on in the middle field. You see some Packers' feet right here, the middle of the field, because Jamo's, I don't think he was running a post, but he's kind of coming back into the middle of the field. I think he slips a little bit on this play. So Goff actually does a really good job of manipulating Quay Walker with his eyes here, gets him to bite, and then you got a first down. All right, we're looking at LaPorta's first catch here, and what you're seeing here is Jamo, and we're going to show you in a second, is wide open here. I did a couple of offensive plays from the Lions game a few days ago, and I was just kind of critiquing Jared Goff's decision-making in some of these, and like I said at the beginning of this clip, I hate it. What I'm more so going to critique is the offensive line, because I do like the tight end screen here, and they get, I think this is like a gain of 2. I mean, you see barely, Jameson Williams is wide open all the way down here, but obviously we'll show you this other angle. By the way, guys, hit that like button. I appreciate all of my support on these Lions videos from you guys. Thank you so much, especially as a Green Bay Packers fan. Means the absolute world to me. I am just kind of confused what we're doing here, because this is Micah Parsons, and he won a lot of pass reps here. And what you're going to have, and I'll just break it down as we go into it, these guys double team 96. Or is it 96 for Green Bay? They're double teaming it. I think that's 95, Devontae Wyatt, who also had a good game. They're double teaming 94 right here, who is Carl Brooks for the Packers. And they're play actioning, so I understand it. And you got LaPorta here who's going to catch this ball, who's just going to chip what looks like Rashawn Gary here, or that's Brenton Cox. And then we have a one-on-one rep here with Micah Parsons. And the right guard, Tate Ratledge, is pulling. You're going to see it right here. He's going to pull over here to stop Micah Parsons, which he's obviously way late. And you're trying to bite him, and you do bite him a little bit, Micah Parsons, with this run right here. But he's not even close to him. But like we say, this play's going to the right. It's going to Sam LaPorta, who's about to break off of this, and it's a little too late, because then you see the guys on the right, or you got Grant Glasgow at center, and then your right tackle, Penei Sewell, they're getting ready to go into the second level. But Micah comes in immediately, and it forces this ball to come out a little bit too early, and the blocking's just not quite ready for it. Glasgow's not able to get to Javon Bullard, number 20 on the Packers. And then you got Evan Williams and all these guys coming in here. So this is a gain of just a couple of yards. And like I said, I don't really love to critique, because what the heck do I know? But I'm just not a huge fan of this pull block here by Tate Ratledge. Obviously, it's way too late. He just honestly misses him completely. And now Jahmyr Gibbs once again fighting for his life. And you got Brenton Cox doing a good job right here, because LaPorta's about to chip off of this, brings him down, catches this, but it's a little too late. So this is kind of redundant, because it's 27-6 Green Bay. There's only 2 minutes and 36 seconds left on the clock. Basically, the point I'm trying to establish in this video is Sam LaPorta had 3 catches on this drive here, and it's the last possession of the game. And he finished technically as the highest receiving guy at 79 total yards, and he would have been number 2 in receptions But Jahmyr Gibbs had 10 catches for 31 freaking yards here. So it's just really small. He's going to get a chip here, and you'll see it on this next clip. But I want them to do a little bit more like this. And like I said, I know it's a little redundant. I don't even know if redundant's the best word here. You got, all these receivers are just, they're going deep. They're going deep. I think J-Mo's going, and then he's going to eventually post it. And you're going to see Jahmyr Gibbs actually get completely wide open. But LaPorta right here is wide open as well. But because of the situation in the football game, Green Bay is not looking to give up a touchdown. Even though the game's kind of out of reach, pretty much out of reach right here. It's 21-point game. It's a 3-possession game. They got everybody here. We'll give up a couple of dink and dunks, and he's going to chip it off. And like I said, Jahmyr's right here, and maybe he can make a guy miss. But they're going to take this for 7 yards to Sam LaPorta. And, once again, I get it. It's really late in the football game where, what does this even necessarily matter? But I would love to see more Sam LaPorta involvement. And that's the thing. And that's why I hate making these videos, because you can say the same thing about all of these players. J-Mo only had 4 catches on 5 targets. St. Brown only had 4 catches on 6 targets. We saw 4 total targets to LaPorta, 4 out of his 9 targets in the football game here on this final drive. And I just would like to see the small stuff be cleaned up for this game. Now, Green Bay's a tough matchup in week 1, a divisional game. It's a tough road matchup in week 1, and we didn't see any starters play. So that's kind of the joke that you see a lot in the NFL now, is because we went from 4 preseason games to 3, that the first game of the season is kind of like the last preseason game. All right, now let's get the season started. But it comes at an unfortunate cost for the Lions, because you just lost a divisional game. Thankfully, it wasn't in Detroit. The game probably would have gone a different way if it was in Detroit. But it's not a fun schedule. The Lions don't have a fun schedule this season. Now, I will say, you never know, because we always look at strength of schedule. The Lions have a really difficult record. Well, teams get worse, right? The next couple of games, you got Chicago, Baltimore, Cleveland, Cincy, Kansas City, Tampa. Maybe Baltimore doesn't have a good year. Maybe Kansas City doesn't have a good year. Things happen over the course of an 18-week NFL season. But I just, this is the player of the game on offense here, and it's not the best. You know what I mean? So I hate making this kind of stuff. We're going to do a defensive video. Let me know. A lot of you guys were saying offensive line. Honestly, it's unbelievably frustrating watching this offensive line orchestrate its way through this all-22. I was thinking of Brian Branch. I was thinking of defensive video in general. But let me know whatever you guys have to say. If you like this kind of content, let me know, because like I said, it's a really bad loss, and I just kind of hate making this kind of stuff. But as all of you were saying, it's kind of reminiscent of Tampa last season. It's kind of reminiscent of Baltimore from 2 seasons ago. This stuff just happens, and especially with a victory over the Chicago Bears next week, this game will soon be forgotten in the grand scheme of things. Maybe it'll be more brought up at the end of the year. I'm just kind of yapping at this point. So thank you guys so much for watching. You got Chicago, Ben Johnson returning to Detroit on Sunday, and we'll get another Lions video out to you before then. So thanks for watching. That's it. Peace.